with any general public comments.
This is Jeremy Roth-Cushel. I first want to appreciate the members of the commission who showed interest in the citizen participation in pushing for why we needed a fuller written record of what has been said in meetings here, and I want to appreciate the city clerk for deploying it and making it available to the public. A very good example of interested members of the public who, after utilizing general public comment, pulling the minutes over many months of diligent attention to what we saw as an important issue of missing public interest information, it resulted in response from the government that then supplied more public interest information for the entirety of the public. Okay. Meanwhile, a few weeks ago, we had an outrageous example of what I've seen as an ongoing assault. I use that word carefully, an ongoing assault, especially by specific members of the commission and I believe city legal and city manager in terms of attempting to push back, roll back public input in the ways that it has been shown to be effective in just recent months. Okay. Then members of the Chamber of Commerce came on the Zoom call after maybe a few dozen members of the public here in person showed their deep disapproval of this attempted rollback, and then started talking about how maybe the real purpose of this was to serve the chamber's interests by basically saying the only business germane to this commission is that which is germane to the chamber, and started talking about issues of tone and nature, which is directly core to the question of First Amendment violations in terms of policing core political speech here. And so I will note that one of the most consistent members of the public who utilizes their First Amendment protected rights here, Michael Irvey from Lawrence Accountability, who showed leadership from the community in terms of actual responsible citizen police oversight, a lot of other issues, houselessness, etc., is not here tonight. This is because the city manager and city legal used what I think is a retaliatory trespass from public property, and he's been excluded for 60 days, all for actions that do not fulfill the nature of the city manager and city legal's actual ability to enforce that, which calls for good and legal cause. Good meaning good faith, meaning good facts, and then legal. None of that was fulfilled. So I think the city should rectify this very quickly.
Other public comment? We'll go to Zoom.
I'm not seeing any raised hands. So.
All right, we'll bring it back to the commission.
I don't know how to raise my hand on this.
Okay, go ahead.
It's changed from last time, but I'd like to speak when possible.
Go
ahead, Chris.
Yeah, this is Chris Flowers. I wasn't intending to come to the meeting, but then I saw that thing about Michael being banned, and I read through I saw a copy of the email sent to him, and it seems kind of bullshit. I think one of the complaints was following commissioners outside, but I mean, that's public property. I mean, journalists go outside, journalists will follow politicians and ask them questions. So, I see Lawrence Accountability as a journalist since he is covering local news. So I think it's kind of BS to say because he was following commissioners after the meeting. I mean, that's a bit much. I mean, if that's something that's not allowed, you need to clearly. You need to put it in the rules. You can't follow a commissioner out after the meeting and try to ask them questions. But I mean, if you put that as a rule, I think people would roll their eyes and be like, "Well, my gosh, that's that's like why are you even being a commissioner if dealing with the public asking you questions is too much for you to deal with? And it blows my mind that you're banning him from the city hall for 60 days. So just wanted to throw that out there. Thank you.
Any other public comment on Zoom?
That's it.
All right, we'll bring it